Hello and welcome to our first 360 No Hope podcast. I'm Andrew, Andy3471 on Twitch, and for this first episode I am joined by Callum Moran.
Hello, I
There we
am
go.
Steve Moran, CMOORIN on Twitch and Twitter. And also you can find me at the Angry Microwave, TheAngryMicrowave.com or anywhere else. I think that's everything plugged.
We're also joined by someone who isn't awful at shameless self-promotion, James Phillips. How's it going?
Hi everybody. I've got online presences, but I don't particularly want you to find them.
Yours are a lot more
I've got
shameful,
to find
aren't they?
too.
Okay, I thought first episode we'll introduce ourselves by basically saying our top 3 games. I don't want to dwell on it or say why, just our top 3 to kind of give an idea of your personalities. I'll start off with mine.
Can I quickly interject? Are we allowed to judge you for your choices?
Yes, you're allowed to. Well, everyone will silently judge us for our choices.
Okay, sweet.
But my top 3. Well, it could be series, by the way. It can't have to be individual games, but it's gonna be Minecraft, BioShock, and Half-Life. James, take it away.
Well, that's very interesting, actually. I've got Minecraft, BioShock. I'm not sure if it counts as a series. Well, I've also got like Supergiant games, so I've got like Bastion and Transistor. They're kind of like the same sort of style, isometric stuff, made by the same people. I didn't know if they count as a series, but I thought I'd throw that in there as well.
We'll count it, but we'll slightly judge you. Callum?
So, obvious first one, The Last of Us. Amazing game. Secondly, Medal of Honor on PS1, a bit out there, but fond memories of playing that like my first video games. When they were good, like on the PS1, and they were like really good shooters, before they turned into what they are now.
I said no explanation.
Oh yeah, crap.
Oh, silent judgment.
Oh, you know what? I should just go now, shouldn't I?
Yeah, do it.
Um,
No, don't actually do it.
And Hearthstone.
Cool choices.
It was very out there, Callum. It was good to get a bit of variety. Fucking Andrew copied me and stuff, but okay.
Well, I said it first. But yeah, this is our first podcast, so we thought we'd make some jingles. I haven't heard them yet, but Callum and James have both made some jingles each, and they're going to share them. We're going to have a little bit of a vote on what we should keep. So I'm pretty sure we're not going to be keeping any of them by Callum's laugh.
Is there a reward? Did you say there's a prize?
There was a £10 Steam game for whoever, like the best one, and I'm going to judge that. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be picking Callum.
It's a bit biased, isn't it?
Okay, if you want to cue them up, Callum. Callum is queuing them up because we're professional. He's doing it stereo mix on here, like professional. So it means we're going to be watching his face with his silent reactions whilst jingles are playing.
Okay.
Are we queuing up James's one first? Is it?
Yep. And then I'll speak, and then I'll go back.
Okay.
Ready?
This is James's first jingle. Let's hear.
On a Tuesday. Did you like it?
Love it. Okay. Let's hear.
Amazing, James. Amazing.
Let's hear Callum's first one.
I didn't think I had a chance till I heard that.
Having name problems, I feel bad for you, son. I got 99 problems, but Barry ain't one.
Fuck, it was Callum. I'm not racist. I'm treasurer. 360 No Hope podcast. Sad average. Adam as Candian. 360 No Hope podcast.
If you're having name problems, I feel bad.
Not again. Oh my. What?
That was amazing.
I can't say I didn't expect something like that. I love the way, before we did the show, Callum said, I'm worried you might be going for the same idea as me. As if James would come up with the exact same thing.
Did you like it though?
That was beautiful. That was amazing. I loved
Okay,
it.
let's hear James' second one.
By the way,
None of
and that
mine were as
wasn't
good
my
as that.
morally offensive one.
None of mine were as good as that. You're listening to the sweet sounds of Andrew Hargrave on a Tuesday. Andrew Hargrave on a Tuesday.
Cool.
Simplistic, you know. I thought I'd go for more sensual late night radio.
You've gone for jingles. Callum's gone for TV theme tunes. But...
I think my Chucklevision one has got a chance.
Oh yeah, I do.
I was going to give the prize to the one we can actually use.
You can use that.
Okay.
You could use honestly. You could use that. Okay, this is the one you probably can't use.
Okay, let's hear. I'm not looking forward to this.
When there's something strange, crater room, you are gonna call. 360. There's something weird, blah blah blah. You are gonna call. 07504.
No.
You are gonna call.
No. Okay,
Gonna call Andrew.
No.
Andrew.
No. I hate you. Oh, fuck. There are actually people watching now. Please do not ring that number so you can make it out. I hate you so fucking much right now.
I think I missed my cue.
Oh my god. Please stop now, Callum. Okay, let's hear James's third one. Let's not use that one or ever play that ever again on any podcast ever.
Well,
I'm so sorry.
I hate you. I thought you were going to go something offensive, not my fucking phone number.
Well played, Callum. Well played.
Thanks.
Okay.
I'll play James.
Let's hear James's third one for something a bit more relaxing.
Jump around on a Tuesday. It's Andrew on a Tuesday. He's the man on a Tuesday. He's gonna put your cross. It's a Tuesday. There you go.
I like that. I'm definitely not voting any of Callum's ones.
I think my Chucklevision one's genuinely good.
I like the chocolate.
Yeah, but we can't really use it, whereas James says we can. I actually really like that third one. I think I might use that one. But I
Here's my Chucklevision one.
but there's a bit of a copyright issue.
No, it's fine because you're speaking over it, like Creative Commons and stuff.
Creative
I don't
Commons.
think that's how it works.
I don't think Creative Commons means you can steal other music from other shows.
Well, last night on Twitch, I had someone streaming a movie.
Okay, I'm going to go with James's one, so you'll get a £10 Steam game there, James.
Woo!
Let me know what you want.
Okay.
Okay, so this week, I thought we could talk about if we think games are too long. I mean, a lot of games coming out nowadays, and I don't normally have much time to finish them. I mean, Ubisoft games are notorious for having so much filler content, but I tend to prefer to sit and go through like a 3-hour game. That's why I love Telltale games. I love that kind of thing. Is there any have you got any preference for your game length?
Well, I quite like. I mean, not overly long, but I like a campaign that I can really sort of sink my teeth into. I can play over sort of a week, because if it isn't something I can do like in an afternoon, so like Jazzpunk, which is nice because it's sort of a couple of hours, but then I quite like something a bit like Bioshock as well, where it's sort of you get up to like 10-15 hours. And it's got a good campaign with lots of like lore, and it's got because you can get the depth if you get the hours, you know what I mean? And it's something you can like come home from sort of work or university or school, and you can look forward to playing it again, rather than after a couple of hours you sort of play it in a session and never play it again.
Yeah, that's true. Stuff like Bioshock sits in the back of your mind as you play it, like whilst you're doing other things you're thinking about, which is pretty cool. Any thoughts, Callum?
Well, like, you can have a decent long game. Like, if it's split into 3 acts, you can kind of get away with it being a long game because then you know where to leave off. But the worst kind of games are like the super long ones where there's no clear point to stop.
Yeah.
So then you keep on playing. But if there's a long game and there's like a dedicated place to stop, I don't really mind. Back to about like 5 years ago when you was like a young teen, game that's like long enough and gets your money's worth.
Yeah, that's true.
So I also think I do think it is kind of like where you are in your life. Because obviously, if you're early 20s and you've got a job, you obviously haven't got enough time. But if you're in your teens, you've got plenty of time to kill, and you've only got like $60, £40 to spend on a game. And you obviously want the most you can. So I think it does depend on who the game's aimed at and how long it should be.
Yeah, definitely. There is a lot of filler content in games nowadays. I mean, Ubisoft games are notorious for there's so much just side chores that they try and force you to do to upgrade, and that just drains me so much. I can't play through like Far Cry or Watch Dogs just because there's so much on the side.
But those kind of games have that stuff, so you don't have to take it. Like you don't have to go and collect all the shanty songs in Assassin's Creed, or go and do all the hangouts in Watch Dogs. But then it's there if you want to get it, kind of like if you're that kind of person who wants to go for it. Like, no one's making you go and do that. Like, you can just go and play through the missions. Kind of like GTA, you can just play the campaign fine without doing like all of the 50 jump stunts or whatever. It's there if you want it, but I'd rather have it there if I wanted it, rather than not have it there.
Yeah, that's true. But Assassin's Creed, a lot of the stuff like you need to upgrade your ships, or it does get quite difficult in like 4. I remember that was kind of bad for that.
But then on the other hand, you got like games like Skyrim, where I've sunk hundreds of hours into that game and like really got my money's worth out of it, because there's so much side quest stuff, and I've never finished the main campaign, even though I've spent so many hours on it. And I mean, it's incredible, especially in my days of an Xbox. Like Callum said,
Dark days.
when games were like £40 and I didn't have much spare money, so something like Skyrim was sort of like a godsend, where I could come home and play it every night for sort of 4 or 5 hour marathon like sessions, and still feel like there's loads for me to do next time I play it.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of great games like that with really a lot of content on them, but there is so much with filler, I find, but that's just personal preference. I really can't get into MMOs just because there's just so much side quests that really don't do anything. They don't help with anything. I always find that. I always prefer it when games when everything comes together to feel something great, when there's no filler or anything. Like, I struggle to get into Borderlands as well because of it.
But then,
that's just me.
With like MMOs though, there's like it's a game people mainly just play. Like me and you prefer variety in our games, so we'll play Valiant Hearts and then go to like GTA, like the complete different ends of a spectrum. But then there's those people that like play World of Warcraft like nearly all the time, and that's their one game they play. I think MMOs have that kind of stuff to kind of draw a subscriber base.
Yeah, makes sense. But would you say what are your favourite like short games? Do you think there's a good market for them, or do you not like them short?
Well, I personally, I really like sort of a 2-3 hour games. Like I already mentioned Jazz Punk, but there's plenty of others that I've played where I've sat down and I've thought, I feel like playing a story game, but I also don't want to commit for like my next week to play something. So games like that are perfect for an afternoon where you decide you want to break, but you don't want to go like overly competitive on something like Counter-Strike or like League of Legends or anything. But it gives you something you can really sort of sink your teeth into for that afternoon. Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, it's standalone story stuff. And what do you think about episodic content? So Telltale kind of thing.
It's got the appeal of sort of TV shows and stuff where it's the same sort of thing. You don't have to commit a long time for it. You've got sort of, I think it comes out monthly, doesn't it? Normally Telltale games.
They say monthly, but it's normally every couple of months, and then with no really set date.
Yeah, but you still got everyone plays it sort of at that time because it's a couple of hours, and then you can have the like TV effect where everyone goes in, they talk about what they've played and sort of decisions they've made and things. And I think that was really nice. I've had plenty of conversations talking about like that week's episode.
Telltale launched at a really weird time because they launched The Walking Dead Season 1 on PS3, made it release on PS4, but your saves couldn't carry over, which was a bit of a rookie mistake to make. It would have been nice to see them being able to bring it over, because games can do that easily now.
Yeah, especially they've got their they just sorted out their website where it tracks your choices and things. So it's a shame they didn't like integrate that into one, then carry to go like on a Telltale account rather than anything else. Because that's what there's a Telltale account now to track your choices. So.
Well, they could have done it easily. Literally, like they could have done without any fancy cloud-based software by generating a number with all the choices on. Then you type that number in like the old school games.
Yeah.
Because you're not really treating with a Telltale game like you won't. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, Flash games would work that one out.
I think as well, like I can't remember, like another thing they could have done. I think it was Mass Effect, where if you hadn't played Mass Effect 1, but you like it still needs to know like the choices that it done. It sort of asked you some vague questions, and it did your choices based on that. Like, so like, oh, would you have done this in this situation? And then like you choose the answer, not knowing the consequences. And it does the consequences in that game. So you didn't have to play the first one, but you'd sort of know like what you would have done in that situation, which I thought was quite clever.
So I've arranged a little game for us. Last year, we had some pretty hilarious PR statements from Ubisoft. Some absolutely unbelievable bullshit that they try and expect us to believe. I mean, they had silly things like resolution is just a number. And they said, what was it? Oh yeah, we decided to lock the same specs on Assassin's Creed Unity to avoid all the debates and stuff. So I've made a little game called Bullshit or Bullshit, where basically I've got a bunch of statements here. Some I've made up, some are from Ubisoft representatives, and you have to tell me which are real and which I've made up. Okay, so I think the best way to do this, if you write down your answers, then we'll go through, so that way you can't cheat, okay?
Okay,
If you have a bit of pen and paper,
I'll do it on Notepad.
Yeah, these are all things they've said. They might be Twitter messages, they might be statements or to press. It might just be something they've said to friends and things that have been written about. But
Yeah.
okay, here's statement 1. At Ubisoft, for a long time you wanted to push 60 FPS. I don't think it was a good idea because you don't gain that much from 60 FPS. It doesn't look like the real thing. It's a bit like the Hobbit movie. It looked really weird. Is that true or is that false? Did they say that?
So I was just gonna ask you after you asked that question. Could I just write bullshit for everything and get it right?
I would love that to be an actual statement.
Okay, here's number 2. In regards to the awful launch of Tetris that came on PS4, I don't know if you heard about this.
Yeah. If the frame rate started 24/7 whenever you played on it. If it was online with it, would it work?
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Even games like Tetris are extremely complicated and hard to test these days. There are a lot of moving parts and a lot can go wrong. Users with a large number of friends on their friends list are having issues due to the console having to download and process so much data.
I have an unfair advantage in that one, but yeah.
Got that one?
Yeah.
Okay. Here's one from Twitter. When asked which Far Cry 4 version was superior, did a Ubisoft representative say, I would say identical, but then some arsehole would say a tree had one more leaf on Xbone. So let's say I don't see a difference. Is that a real statement?
There must have been so many sackings over Ubisoft in the last year.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so when people complained that Assassin's Creed Unity didn't have any female characters in the multiplayer, did they say each player plays as Arno on their screen, and therefore adding a female character didn't really make much sense? It's twice the work for little benefit. Both got that one?
Yep.
And for number 5, for the release of Assassin's Creed Unity, for the press embargo, it was a release day embargo. To defend this, did they say having the online elements available and having a populated world is essential to creating a representative and complete experience for reviewers. Achieving this prior to launch is incredibly complex, which is why some gamers are being reviewed much closer, or as was in the case with Destiny, even after the game launches. Okay, have you got those ones? Has everyone done?
Yep.
So that's all 5 here. So let's go back to question 1. Okay, so the statement, at Ubisoft for a long time you wanted to push 60 FPS. I don't think it was a good idea because you don't gain that much from 60 FPS. It doesn't know the real thing. It's a bit like the Hobbit movie. It looks really weird. What did you put down, Callum?
False.
Any reasoning behind that?
Because they can't say that because, well, at least one of his statements are going to be true, probably. But it just sounds so ridiculous comparing it to a different format that's not even consumed in the same way.
What about you, James?
I put true because a lot of people said that the Hobbit movie looked weird. So, I mean, I can see that saying that a PR representative could say to back
But
themselves
then they said it was more like a video game. If it's
Here's some sad news. It is true. They said it.
Wow.
Okay, so the Tetris one, even games like Tetris are extremely complicated and hard to test these days, there are a lot of moving parts and a lot can go wrong. You used to have a huge number of friends having issues with that due to the console trying to process so much data. What did you put there, Callum?
True.
Okay, and James?
Because
Okay.
I know the story. I remember when it came out and there was a huge thing about that statement.
No,
James?
I put false because I thought it's a friends list.
Yeah, that is false. They didn't say that statement. They didn't say anything. It was about the friends list being too much to process, and they didn't say it was too many moving parts. It was just because they couldn't test it. But
I got misled about the friends because I knew the friends bit was true.
yeah, that was my misleading part. Okay, so it's the Twitter one here. When asked if what version of Far Cry 4 was superior, did a Ubisoft rep say? I would say identical, but then some arsehat would say it 3 on had one more leaf and X bone. Let's say I don't see a difference. True or false? Callum?
False.
Callum?
False.
Okay. Any reasoning?
Well, all my reasonings have been wrong so far, so it's probably true.
James?
I put true because I can see sort of people getting that pedantic about like trying to be on their high horse about console wars.
Yeah, that was completely true. It was Alex Hutchinson from Ubisoft said that one.
You won, James. Well done.
Okay, so when people complain about multiplayer characters in the female no multiplayer female characters in Assassin's Creed Unity, they said each player plays as Arno on their screen. Therefore, a female character didn't really make much sense. It's twice difficult for little benefit. Did they say that?
Yes. Well, they said it. Well, they said it was to do with like people power to make them. But I don't know whether your word. I've now realised your wording is very important in this. So I may be wrong, but I said true.
Hey, James?
I put false because I don't really think they'd talk about like, oh, we can't be bothered sort of thing. I think they'd find a more bullshit excuse for it.
This is the funny thing. It was false because it wasn't about each player playing as Arno on their screen. But it was the twice they did complain it was twice the work, even though it wouldn't be, obviously. There's not twice the work in
I'm
that.
so cheated in this.
I'm sorry, Gavin.
So I was like, yeah, they said something about that. But
Yeah.
I didn't. Yeah.
Okay, this one was fucking hilarious for me. Having the online elements available, having populated worlds, is essential to creating a representative and complete experience for reviewers. Achieving this prior to launch is incredibly complex, which is why some games are being viewed closer, or as was the case with Destiny, even after the game launches. Was that something they said or not?
True.
Okay.
Yeah, true.
James?
I put true as well.
Yeah, that one is true, but the funny thing about this one, it was absolutely hilarious because I wrote a joke statement, then did my research, and it was pretty much identical. Well, it wasn't. It pretty much said the same thing. I was right. My false statement was the Assassin's Creed games now have huge online components. Given embargo prior to release in this case would have meant a lot of viewers had not had a chance to experience huge sections of the games, and not give a fair review, which is pretty much what they said.
I think I want that.
Yeah, considering how small the multiplayer components actually were, how much they didn't matter, and how few people they actually needed for multiplayer to test it. That just drives me crazy. So what score did you get there?
1-ish.
And James?
5 out of 5.
Nice. Nice. So James can tell my bullshit from Ubisoft's bullshit. I think next week I'm tempted to do the same with maybe something I don't know.
That's a good game. I like that.
We could do things Anita Sarkeesian has said, or something along those lines.
I think it's
might be
bullshit.
borderline offensive.
You're gonna do things you need to.
Yeah, but it's sad to see that's what Ubisoft says to its customers nowadays.
The thing is that these people have gone to university and studied PR, and this is what they're still coming out with.
Yeah, there's people coming out on Twitter calling people arse-hats for preferring different versions of the game. It's absolutely ridiculous.
It's beautiful.
Okay, so earlier today we heard news of a GTA 5 delay on PC. It was supposed to be due, was it the 27th? I can't remember the top of my head. But it's been delayed to the end of March. So does anyone have any thoughts on that?
Are we surprised? No.
Well, they did say last week that there is definitely no delay. They put out a statement saying, no, we're still releasing on this day.
I mean,
But
no,
then
they didn't actually. They just said that they didn't have like plans on whether like they didn't confirm that the rumors going around.
Oh, okay.
So they didn't say there wasn't going to be any change.
Okay.
But they did say Heist is coming out very soon, within like the next couple of weeks, and that's being put back to March again too. Bearing in mind they made a point about going, okay guys, we're completely honest, taking ages, coming out soon, same time as PC. Turns out the same time as PC was when they delayed it. But they said, they basically put out a statement saying it's coming out like and just for the PC release. But then they pushed back the PC release a week after they made that statement. So technically they weren't lying, but they're being very deceitful.
I love the way their heist trailer opens with someone saying, "What was it? You've been moaning about it, but they weren't ready. It was a joke." And then they delay it again. Like, what a big F you to consumers there.
The thing is that Rockstar have gone from being this super trusted company of everything like they've said is being gospel or near enough, to now recently just like making up all these rubbish excuses and stuff all the time.
Yeah, next week we'll be doing the things Rockstar have said to do with GTA 5. No, but Heist was supposed to be coming out like so shortly after the PS3 and Xbox 360 releases, and then the PC release was expected like a few months afterwards, and oh my god, they just can't keep their time.
I mean, I know it's been like ages and like there's been delay after delay, but personally, I'd rather it come out a complete game and have to wait a few more things. Like, I know, to throw out a cliche of Half-Life 3, like that's what they did right. They've not said anything. Like, everyone knows there's something in the works somewhere, but by not saying anything, they've not set themselves a deadline like Rockstar have over and over again to break because nothing's ready. But again, I'd rather have something that will come out and it works straight away. You don't get 10 DRMs that don't work, and you have a coherent game that will work from day one.
Yeah, it's definitely annoying, but it's definitely less annoying than having it come out after all this time and not working. That would be much worse in this situation, I think. But it better be good. But the system specs they announced on it are pretty promising, actually. I was having a look through. I'm quite happy with those if they're true. I don't know if you had the chance to look.
Well, they must be true because Rockstar posted it.
But, I mean, lots of companies sort of downplay them and change them around a bit. But I mean, a 660 for the recommended specs is ridiculous. That's really good.
But it looks like it's very sort of CPU intensive. But like on one hand, that's a good thing. On another hand, it's a bad thing because from the recommended specs, they've like sort of specified for an 8-core CPU on AMD side, so that sort of implies that they've gone for sort of the multi-core sort of aspect. So that would be good because it will utilize more of your PC for a better performance. But on the other hand, the minimum specs say that it requires 4 cores. So a lot of sort of lower end PCs with dual cores, which is one of I think it's Intel's highest selling CPUs, a dual core processor. They're going to be completely cut off and won't be able to run the game at all.
Yeah, there have been a hell of a lot of games that come out in the last few months with no dual-core compatibility, but they've all been patched by someone. Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, Far Cry 4, there's a few others that they've released without dual-core support, and someone's found a way of patching it. The funny thing is,
console gaming.
The funny thing is, it was one of the pirate groups that made the patch for Far Cry 4 to work on dual cores. So the only way you could get it to work on dual core was to pirate the game. Pirates care more than Ubisoft.
Are you sure Advanced Warfare didn't have dual core?
They patched it. They patched it once.
Oh, okay.
So someone made a patch to make it work, and then Activision patched it.
Okay, cool.
Okay. So before this podcast, we used a video game name generator, and we decided these two are going to both try and pitch me the game that they got generated. And I'm going to vote on which one we should go ahead with. So if James, you want to pitch your idea?
Yeah, no, I can go first. I think you're going to like this one. I'm very happy with this one. I've got it written down. Okay. Are you ready?
Let's go.
My game is called All American Princess Smash. Okay, here's the sort of like trailer pitch sort of thing. Get ready for the most patriotic thing since Abraham Lincoln took a shit on the Eiffel Tower. All-American Princess Smash. Yeah! Everyone loves princesses. Everyone loves freedom. Everyone loves fighting. Well, we have it all. In this MMO, RPG, FPS, RTS, TBS, SSF, you can pick your favorite princesses and live their lives. You make the choices that lead your princess to the fighting tournament. Will it be to prove your worth? Maybe to get revenge? Maybe you won't fight at all, having a moral objection to violence. You decide! With realistic next-gen graphics, including dress cloth physics, American flag cloth physics, and even hair celebratory handkerchief cloth physics. Be the princess you always dreamed of being, and do it right. Do it for America!
Wow. I love that Callum hadn't even started doing his before before the podcast has started, so I don't think his is going to be quite as good, to be honest.
I'm gonna win.
But that was brilliant. I would love that game. Like, so what demographic are you going for? Is it kind of mixed? You were going for this all-American manly thing, but it's about princesses. I want to hear a bit more.
Yeah, man, I'm kind of appealing to sort of the man in every woman and the woman in every man. Do you know what I mean?
We don't talk about that here.
So I'm kind of going for sort of a mixed demographic of it's a fighting game, but you don't have to fight. It's more like a, you know, a live your life how you want to sort of game.
Is it a pacifist fighting game?
No, you can choose to be a pacifist and not fight. I mean, like, that's what I mean. It starts before the fighting tournament, and then you like have a series of actions deciding why you'd be in the fighting tournament. So you kind of make your own backstory. But I mean, if you choose like paths and choices, which mean you don't, I mean, like you don't go to the fighting tournament. Like you can like do like dish cleaning simulator and like turn off the TV.
That is sexist, there, James.
That's not, because it's like washing the dishes of America.
Are you
like,
saying princesses should be washing dishes?
No, because they're doing it out of choice. You know, they could be out fighting. That's their choice to be in the kitchen. No, because I've given them the choice to go out fighting.
Okay.
It's not sexist.
Okay. Is it in relation to Smash Brothers? Because it ends in Smash, doesn't it?
It does end with Smash. That's just a complete coincidence. But it is similar sort of fighting aspects, but it's 3D and also takes place on the fourth dimension.
Okay, sure. Whatever. I'm not even going to question that. Okay, Callum, I want to hear how your pitch came out compared to James's here.
Who am I pitching to? Am I pitching to a publisher?
Yes, if you're pitching it to a publisher.
Oh, well, I've won.
I'm going to pick up one of these two games.
I've won.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I'm pitching my game to an audience with an existing 250 million people user base. So think of all that money, lots of money. My game is called... I should have like a giant banner behind me. It would have been awesome.
But instead you have Breaking Bad spoilers.
No.
It's compelling viewing. What is going on?
My game is called Amazon Barcode Domination.
Great.
That's unfair. I didn't realise you could use party poppers.
I think I've won, but basically... I already have a fire alarm go off now, even though that'd be amazing. Sorry, it's just smoke everywhere. It's fire poppers.
Brilliant.
Okay, I'll resume the pitch in a minute once I've got rid of his smoke.
Oh my god, this is his video game pitch. Imagine someone came into your office and you were a game publisher. Says the name of his game, pulls a party pop and then waits for the smoke to go, just sat there.
Okay, so basically, Amazon has got 250 million users, so lots of money. And basically, like, it's one of those top-down games, like the cartoon style. You have to go around barcoding stuff, like I don't know if you know how an Amazon warehouse works, but I've gone on a research trip and watched a few behind-the-scenes movies, had a few chats with customers. It's basically a giant warehouse and all these scooters, like kind of like mobility scooters, but not mobility cooled. And they basically go around and have to scan it and pick up the item. But what happens is I'm going to work it so that they're robots controlled by the people playing the game.
you made that look as if something surprising. We just sat here like, what?
So basically, like people playing won't know, but while you're finding the objects, they're controlling robots who's actually picking the objects too. So then,
in real life.
Yeah. So,
oh.
So publisher. So Amazon makes lots of money. The people have lots of fun times, and everyone loses their jobs.
Great. Okay, well, we've got a few people watching, so if you both just TLDR your thing, I'll ask them, I'll hand it over to see if anyone has any thoughts on your game. So if James, you quickly sum up what your game was there.
So mine's a sort of a princess simulator game where you make a series of decisions about why you get into a fighting tournament, and then it's got great American themes, and it's all about sort of freedom and beating up princesses.
Everyone's rich by this game. Amazon's rich. The audience is rich because they get like Uber minimum wage. Everyone has fun. Everyone's rich. Everyone's happy.
That is the summary of your game. So that's what.
Yeah. I'm pitching to a publisher.
Okay. If we have any comments on Twitch to see which one you prefer, a terrible warehouse game or a terrible princess fighting game with America.
Rude.
A terrible warehouse game where both sides make money.
So Callum, who is your game pitched at anyway? Is it
the 250 million existing Amazon users?
But you think they're all going to be interested in warehouse shipping and things?
I reckon about 25% more.
Okay, but you quoted 250 million to me. You said I've got an audience of 250 million. Now you're saying you got 25% of that.
I've got an audience of 250 million that may be interested. I guarantee you 25% will be.
We've got a comment here. Can I fire people in the warehouse game?
Oh, interesting.
No, but you... Wait. Yeah. Can I go to vote if not?
Why would you say no?
But basically, you can make whatever character you want. So if you wanted to see, let's say, like a female do it, or Jabba the Hutt, you could make whichever one you wanted.
What about a female Jabba the Hutt?
So you could be a female Jabba the Hutt. Thanks, James. So you could be a female Jabba the Hutt riding around Amazon's warehouse doing their job for them. And making money for both sides. It's a no-brainer.
Do you make money out of it for doing the job?
Yeah. You basically get like a certain amount of money per items found in X amount of time. So it's on like so basically, like, do you know those like what would you call them? The phone games you play and you make money out of them. The in-app purchase game. It'd be like the opposite. So instead of paying money, you get money out. So you're really addicted to making money. So everyone's happy because you get rid of people's jobs, but you give the world a job. Kids in Africa can make a living out of this game.
On their smartphones.
No.
And do you want kids in Africa to die?
Okay,
Yes,
James,
use
question for you. Does the princess thank me later?
You make all the choices, buddy. You get to make them do whatever you want. I'm not even going to question what you're going to make them do, but I'm just going to leave it in your hands.
I think out of those, I'm going to pick James's. It's just because.
I'm winning
this whole show is
podcast.
about James.
I'm sorry, he's ruining not ruining everything. I mean, you're ruining everything. He's winning everything. I'm sorry, you're not really ruining. You need to give out my phone number at the start of the podcast, Callum. I don't care if you're not winning enough.
I still think my Chuckle Vision is a much better one.
I think yours is more of an intro than a jingle.
Yeah, it's named for a podcast.
He said jingle.
Okay, can I make a point? If the podcast gets moved to a different day, what are you going to do then?
Re-record it.
Yeah, I'll probably just re-record it.
No, my one's better. It's more of an intro. It's more than an intro. Like, it's something special.
We couldn't play that between things, could we? We couldn't go from like the game.
Yeah, you would. You asked for a jingle to start off with. You didn't ask. It also gives you time to get hyped up.
Ask for a jingle. Yes, I did. That's literally all I asked for.
I mean, which one do you remember?
It's Andrew
on a Tuesday. Yes, I like that.
I have the outro jingle.
Oh my! Oh, no! You're gonna get kicked from it. I'm ready. You can see me about to eject.
Oh no.
Bye.
Bye, Callum.
Bye. There is a reason behind that. I don't actually know if that was the jingle he said not to play.
I know it sounded different.
I'll re-invite him. Professional podcast. But it actually does mean he doesn't get to shamelessly self-promote in our outro.
Nice.
So thanks to everyone that's joined us. This was a great laugh. This is basically our first one. We haven't done it before. It was a sort of pilot, just test things. So it's going to be me each week. We're going to invite 2 different people from the gamer group on. But honestly, any constructive criticism or anything that you can think of will be really helpful because we want to make it good. I mean, things went a bit strange at points. I had to kick Callum. who's watching on Twitch, funny enough. But yeah, we definitely want to do more. But does anyone, James, do you want to give your channel a bit of a plug?
Well, I mean, yeah, I stream quite a lot on twitch.tv /unquietchimp, all one word, no underscore.
It's linked to my channel, by the way. There's a link. It's James.
But yeah, no, I think we've all got each other in our bios on Twitch to link between us. But no, it's been good.
But I'm gonna do a plug for Callum because he was kicked because he was about to play my phone number. But he's Callum in my thing as well. I recommend watching. We're going to stream a lot more. And on Saturdays we're going to start a local play stuff. We play board games. We play local couch stuff. Oh, there he goes. He's commenting on our chat there. As
Even
always.
when he's not in the podcast, he's self-promoting. Brilliant.
That's beautiful. Thanks for everyone for watching, and it was a lot of fun.
Thank you, everyone. Jump around on a Tuesday. It's Andrew on a Tuesday. He's the man on a Tuesday. He's going to podcast because it's a Tuesday.